What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Hopefully you had a good weekend. Overall, had a lot of fun here. Got a chance to play some Assassin's Creed and, well, I talked about it a bit. Some more Super Mario Party, which we have to talk about today because there's some interesting news kind of going on in the background right now for that. Some stuff people may have missed, but it's definitely important for Nintendo, as I know they are already investigating all of kind of what's transpired in the days leading up to Super Mario Party and kind of what's going on now as well. First, though, let's go over some of the quick news, starting with Trine 3, because it's actually been rated over in Germany, well, for the Nintendo Switch. And it's interesting to see this because Trine 3 came out what feels like a while ago, but it was like 2015, and it was out on the PS4 and the PC, and it was the first time that the series went to 3D, and it's like an action RPG platforming puzzle game, and it was done by Frozen Byte. And it's interesting to see this because originally, I do remember they talked about how the game, for it to be longer, would have cost them more money that they didn't have at the time. So to see this get rated in Germany, which costs money, kind of tells me that it's probably coming to the Switch. Usually don't pay to get stuff rated unless it has plans for the future. So if you're a fan of the Trine series and it's a game you've wanted on your Switch, well, looks like Trine 3 is probably coming at some point. I don't know if that would be shown in like an indie showcase, or if that would be something that would just drop. They'd be like, hey, Trine 3 is coming out next week. We've seen that a lot. So that wouldn't shock me, but hey, just you know, keep your ear to the ground for that. You could see Trine 3 just randomly pop up, or we could see it kind of drop in a direct as a, hey, Trine 3 is coming to the Switch. And while a lot of people see hacking consoles or games as a bad thing, sometimes it's pretty cool because it brings us stuff that we wouldn't have seen otherwise. Take, for example, this video where a person actually stacked 200 Goombas on top of each other in Mario Odyssey and did one of the craziest ground pounds, destroying them on the way down. That's from Skelix over on their channel, and it's a pretty cool thing to see. They literally hacked the game, threw a bunch of Goombas in there, stacked them up higher. That's the highest you can apparently stack them. Any higher than 200 and the game just crashes, like, flat out. And you can see the game slowing down and stuff with all that on screen. It was pretty cool to see. It's nothing myself or really anyone else is probably going to do, unless you're really into the hacking scene for that. But to see games like this kind of push their limit and stuff that we never probably see, it's pretty cool. And I'm curious what else they'll come up with going forward with kind of the hacking and everything. Also, it looks like Guerrilla Games is hiring, and they're not exactly hiring the people you figure they would. So Horizon Zero Dawn was a great success for them. It sold well, it obviously made money, and it obviously sold systems. I still see people now buying it, playing it for the first time, and just loving the game. It's a good game. I would play it if you have not. So a lot of us figured, oh, their next project is obviously Horizon Zero Dawn 2, because that makes sense, you know, to continue that game that was successful. Well, they're hiring people that don't really fit into the Horizon Zero Dawn I guess, lore, the idea of the game being a single-player style open-world game. They're hiring people from the Rainbow Six Siege team. Yeah, for multiplayer aspects. So it seems like they're hiring people that have a lot of experience in multiplayer, which is odd because the only game I could think of that they might be designing that would call for that, it's a new Killzone game. Remember, we had Killzone launch, Killzone Shadowfall. That actually launched alongside the PS4 back in 2013, and it was okay. It wasn't like an amazing game or anything. It got middling reviews, but right this second, they're actually hiring people on, like Simon LaRoche, who was actually worked at Ubisoft for their tactical shooter, the Rainbow Six Siege. And then we also had them hire Chris Lee, who was hired as a principal game designer at Guerrilla Studios, and he was developer at Ubisoft on Rainbow Six Siege as well. So they're hiring people who have experience with first-person shooter online games. For Horizon Zero Dawn 2, not likely. It's possible that maybe Sony does this again, where they launch the PlayStation 5 with Killzone, what would they call it? But maybe they do launch with a first-person shooter like Killzone. It's interesting to think about. All right, guys, some of the quick stuff out of the way. Let's jump into some of the bigger news. We're going to start with Telltale because this has been an ongoing series. I thought we were pretty much done talking about it because I didn't know if they'd actually find a company to come in and finish the Walking Dead series. Well, they did. It seems like this is going to be finished. And the good news is it sounds like they're going to be hiring on the original team, the original employees, to finish it, which makes sense. I mean, they were the ones developing the first couple episodes, so you want them to develop the back end of it. So hopefully they get taken care of with contracts that have specific terms as to when they will leave. And, it's hopefully they get, paid and everything for all of that. That class action lawsuit, I'm sure, will still continue because like I said, not everyone's going to get hired on here. But what's interesting about this situation is the company that's coming in to take the Walking Dead series to the finish line. You're going to see a tweet here, and that's actually from Skybound Games, and you can see they announced, "We're so happy to announce that we've reached a deal with Telltale Games that will allow Skybound to continue The Walking Dead the final season. Let's wrap up Clem's story right. More details to come soon." So what's interesting about this is it was announced at New York Comic-Con, and it was announced by Robert Kirkman, who is the creator of Walking Dead. He's actually the founder of Skybound Games, and it seems like while he was talking on the New York Comic-Con's the panel and everything, it seemed like he didn't want to see this series not finish, right? There's a lot of stuff going on in the show that might spoil some people if they're not further ahead. Some actors are leaving, bigger actors and everything, but it looks like Robert Kirkman is serious about getting this done. So it looks like he's stepping in with his publishing company, developer and everything, Skybound Games, and they're going to get this thing done. Now, we don't really know anything else, because I tell you now, Kotaku and other publications are going to be going around in the background trying to figure out how many people are getting hired back, what are the terms. They're going to do their best to probably figure all of this out unless Skybound and Telltale maybe announce it. But I'm going to be curious how many people do get brought back, and hopefully they get taken care of. But it could be a win-win. The game can get done, the employees can get paid, and people who are fans of the series can have a conclusion for Clementine's story. It seems good, but we'll see, because more information will come out about who's hired back, the terms, and all of this stuff. It's going to be interesting, and we don't even know when it's going to be done and finished. It sounds like, from what some of the ex-employees said, it sounds like the episode 3 was done, and then episode 4 was just about done, because they were getting a rating done for 3, mature rated, wow, surprising, but they had to get all of that done ahead of time, so it sounds like maybe you won't have to wait too long, because Telltale should have all the original files. You have the original employees, you bring it all together, and maybe this is something you could see by next year, have it out the door and to the fans. Next up, let's talk about Super Mario Party. It's out, you can go pick it up, so I don't mind talking about this as much now, because there was some stuff going on in the background that actually could have hurt some of the sales actually on launch day, and that is the game actually leaked about 2 days ahead of release day. Yeah, online, it leaked out. It was being passed around heavily in the background. Torrent sites were hosting it. It was all over the place for people who have hacked Switch systems, and that is an issue, because Nintendo needs to figure out what's going on here when it comes to these leaks, because that shouldn't have happened. Now, of course, we all saw a game sell online for over $7,000. Do I think they leaked that out? I don't know, maybe. It would be a weird thing to do. What's really funny is we were even talking about what if they didn't even get the game before release day because, it would take forever to get there. I would hope that they got overnight shipping on that thing for paying that much money. But what's interesting here is it also went out, of course, to press and media and everything like a week prior. So I don't feel like press would have leaked it, and that's why it's odd, this whole situation, because this isn't good or normal for Nintendo. Now, they did at one point have Pokemon games get leaked out. They, of course, also had the Mario Luigi Superstar Saga also get leaked out. And Nintendo usually clamps down pretty hard on this kind of stuff. So to see it being leaked out and the actual piracy possibly have an issue since the Switch is completely hacked pretty much on possibly day one sales, it's not good. So Nintendo is going to be, I assume, finding where this leaked from and figuring it out, because you don't want Smash or Pokemon Let's Go, two big pillars in their holiday strategy, to get leaked out early. That's just not a good thing. So we'll see. The other thing that's a little more lighthearted, and it's not really affecting sales or anything, is that other people are actually modifying the game files. You're going to see some pictures here. Most of it has to do with colors of the different characters, palette swaps. Some people even put little images on there, like putting Sonic on DK's tie. It's pretty funny to see, and it's just people having fun with it. This actually happened within 24 hours of the game releasing, but now we hear that it was leaked out 2 days early, so who knows how long some of these people had with it. But it's pretty funny to see this just kind of get customized already within 24 hours. It doesn't really hurt the game at all, but it's just neat to see all these little I guess customizations they're doing. So we'll see if anything crazy happens. Like someone's gonna probably put like Bowsette or something in the game, right? That's probably gonna happen if it hasn't already. I don't know. Maybe it has happened, but yeah, Super Mario Party, another victim of piracy, and then another victim of, well, people, I guess, just palette swapping and having fun. Next up, let's talk about Paladins, which is a free-to-play game on the Nintendo Switch that people have really taken a liking to on the system. It's a fun game. It's similar to Overwatch and everything, and I used to play it on the PC a lot. I checked it out on the Switch, and it runs well. The performance is good on the system, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. Now, it is one of those free-to-play kind of games where you have, like, battle passes and some freemium models and everything, but you can still technically download it, play for free, and have some fun with your friends. But the one thing people always point out with first-person shooters is, you could probably guess it on the Switch, gyro controls. Where are the gyro controls? When are they showing up? Well, good news. It sounds like Paladins is actually getting an update for gyro controls next month in November, and this was confirmed on Nintendo Minute over the weekend, and they even showed it kind of in motion and everything, and it looks good. Like, if you like, I guess, the gyro controls in like Doom or Wolfenstein or Splatoon, of course, this seems like something that'd be right up your alley. Of course, Paladins runs at a higher frame rate than Doom or Wolfenstein by a good bit, so it'll probably feel a bit more smooth, and it's just going to be good for people who really like the gyro aiming controls. It does work well, I think, for first-person shooters on the Switch, but I'm still more keen to like mouse and keyboard or just the control sticks, just because I've been using it for so long. But I will admit, the gyro controls are more accurate, and you get more out of it than the control sticks. Not as much with mouse keyboard, but it's definitely right in the middle, and I get why a lot of people do it. And our last bit of news, let's talk about that terrible cell phone app that Nintendo continues to use on the Nintendo Switch. I don't know a lot of people who actually like it. I think most people would like it to be just part of the system. Well, Reggie decided to talk a bit about it, along with saying they're not competing with Xbox and Sony, which they are, because when you go to the store, you make a decision which section to buy from, so yeah, you're competing with them. But he did talk a bit about the cell phone app, and let me just show you what he said. Nintendo's approach is to do things differently. We have a much different suite of experiences than our competitors offer, and we do that in a different way. This creates a sort of yin and yang for our consumers. They're excited about cloud saves and legacy content, but wish we might deliver voice chat a different way. For example, what we see here is a situation where we know that Nintendo Switch is being played in the open, at a park, on a metro bus. We believe the easiest way for you to connect and have a peer-to-peer experience with voice chat is with your mobile phone. It's always there. It's always with you. And this was during a panel for Seattle's GeekWire Summit. So Reggie's reasoning here, which, by the way, I gotta give Reggie credit. He is doing his best to PR spin everything Nintendo Japan is doing. I mean, I gotta give him credit. It's not like Reggie's back there, you know, programming the voice app and making these kind of decisions. This is Nintendo Japan, so I gotta give Reggie a bit of credit. He's probably doing the best he can with what he's told to go out there and try to sell to people. So, you know, I can't get mad at Reggie or anything, but it's hilarious though what they're trying to describe here, right? It's saying, well, your cell phone's always with you, so you should use that for voice. I mean, my cell phone's not with me now, obviously, because of recording, but like, yeah, I guess my cell phone's always with me. I mean, so are my, you know, car keys and my watch and all of that, so there's that. But it's just funny the way that they describe it, considering your Switch is what you would talk on if it was always with you anyway, right? Like, the way he's describing your phone always being with you is, to me, like describing anything else that's always with you, because it shouldn't even be related to the device, is the point I'm trying to make here. If you have your Switch, just talk on your Switch. It's an odd situation with this phone app, and I'm curious if a lot of people are even using it. It seems like a lot of people are downloading it, maybe because they have to, but it's not a good... That's the best I guess you can do with PR. I mean, honestly, I would have a hard time explaining this phone app the best I could when it comes to this, because it's just not an easy thing to explain or even describe to people as to why you need it. So, I mean, I gotta give Reggie credit, but not a good reason. Also, Nintendo, sometimes it's good just to do things the same as the other companies. I mean, seriously, it's like the voice chat isn't something that needs to be revolutionized right now. It works. It's not really a big thing people really bring up as being a problem. So the fact that you can play your games anywhere, that makes sense. That's good to do that, you know, do that differently. It's cool. To do voice chat through your phone, is that really even that different? Because I just call people sometimes. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, guys. Really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about today, whether it's Guerrilla Games and they're hiring right now. They're hiring multiplayer people with experience for first-person shooter multiplayers, maybe it's not Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Maybe it is a Killzone game getting ready for the PlayStation 5 launch. Let me know about that. What about Super Mario Party getting hacked and leaked days before? Did you even know about it? Because I think that was actually kept under wraps pretty well for the most part. Some news sites did report on it, but for the most part, I thought it was kept under wraps pretty well. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.